Y'all.
Joining us now in the studio, Joey Deason. He's the Executive Director of the Madison County Economic Development Authority. Joey, thanks for coming in today.
George, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You bet. So you and I had the privilege of attending the big announcement by Nissan last week.
Yeah, February 17th, 10 a.m., and it was quite a production.
That was unbelievable. I have to admit, first time I've ever been inside the plant.
Well, look, number one, for your listeners, anyone that's never actually been into an automotive facility, an OEM, it's phenomenal when you see the amount of people, the amount of engineering, the coordination, and you see raw parts, materials come in one door and a finished product leave the other door. It is phenomenal.
It is, and we happened to pass by en route to the stage and the setup for the announcement, which is right in the middle of the factory floor, which is really cool. But we happened to be able to pass by a couple of lines where you saw finished vehicles rolling off right there.
And look, you probably remember this. You know, one of the things that really stood out to me was as we were riding through the facility, going down to the production event and then back, what happened when you passed employees? They waved at you.
Sure did.
They were very, very friendly, and that's a testament to the labor and the workforce that we have here in Madison County and Mississippi in general.
Yeah, it's a good point because even during the announcement, which included not only all the various political dignitaries, the governor and members of the House and Senate, Congressman Michael Guest, et cetera, but a number of Nissan employees were amongst the crowd and the group sitting and also standing around. And just a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement. You can tell that they're fired up about this announcement, and they're fired up about the $500 million investment that Nissan is going to make to expand and enhance the plant to produce these two vehicles. How long has that deal been in the works? Can you tell us about that?
I can. We've actually been involved from a local standpoint probably midsummer of last year. The discussion started. Obviously, as we moved forward and we got closer to the holidays, things started to pick up a little bit. And if you'll recall, Nissan made an announcement right before the holidays of $17.8 billion that they were going to use for the production of EVs all over the globe. And to my knowledge, I think we're the very first announcement since that, and it's a minimum of $500 million. There's still so many moving parts. I think they're trying to figure out all the mechanics as well.
Yeah, so I believe the plan is to expand the present footprint north. Is that correct? Extended on the northern end of the facility?
That is correct. Currently, there's the Titan HD, the Frontier, and the Altima that are being produced there. If you'll recall, back at the original day, I believe they had 5 lines that were there. They're going to take the existing lines, engineer those to where on some of the lines they can do both electric vehicles and combustible vehicles. The last layout that I saw had a facility for battery assembly that was going to be constructed at the north end of the facility.
It's really cool. And so I'm not sure if they announced that this would involve creation of new jobs, or how does it affect it?
Well, if you've looked at unemployment rates in the nation, in Mississippi, in Madison County, I checked ours this morning. It's 2.1%. So it's relatively, if you want a job, you've got a job, period. So these new vehicles that are going to be brought to Nissan are actually going to upskill and retrain the existing employees to the amount of 2,000 employees. So technically, it's a win-win-win for everyone. We don't have to go out at this point and look for a brand new labor workforce. We're going to bring new technology into the state, and we're going to train existing workers, and there's no new infrastructure that's required at this point.
Well, I think the biggest message and the biggest benefit, in my view here, Joey, is that they ain't going to make this kind of investment if they plan on exiting this area and bailing out of that facility.
Well, look, Nissan came to the state early 2000s. To my knowledge, it was the first major Mississippi Economic Impact Authority project that the state had. Since that time, they've put in about $3.5 billion worth of investment. They employ about 5,000 employees. And with this minimum $500 million investment, it goes to $4 billion.
Yeah.
So they're committed. They understand. If you'll recall during the presentation, the COO of Nissan talked about the labor, the workforce, the individual team members at Nissan and how they made the difference.
Yeah, he sure did. And in fact, he started with that, with calling attention to that and praising and complimenting the team there. So it's something for us, I think, in Mississippi to be proud of. Okay, what else we got going on at Makita? I know the other big project that everybody has interest in is Amazon's fulfillment center under construction at the mega site, and we're about to rename the mega site. Can we talk about that yet?
We can. First of all, from a book of business standpoint, obviously there's a lot of activity that's out there.
Most I've ever seen being on the board.
Most I've ever seen, and I've been in the business for a while.
Okay.
And I think the majority of the state is seeing those same type of project activity. Now, what I am starting to see is there were a bunch of people that came out of the gate really quick, and I believe some of those have pulled back. And so because of inactivity, we're starting to reduce that book of business a little bit, which is good because I think some of it was never going to materialize anyway. But still, as of today, I think we've got about $8.5 billion we're chasing and about 9,000 employees.
Unbelievable, which is fabulous. And folks, if you haven't been to the site itself, it is something to behold. I mean, you really can't appreciate it until you witness it with your own eyes and your own senses.
Well, we've had the privilege of having a consultant and a company actually go out on a site visit within the last 4 weeks. And one of the things that impressed them was the fact that when you get to a certain point there on the site, you can see the entire site. You can see 1,000 acres in all directions. And they were so impressed. They got out. They started filming. They wanted to videotape it. So it's an impressive piece of property.
Yeah, it definitely is. Right here in Madison County.
Yeah, Madison County should be very, very proud. You know, over the last 4 years, we've been able to accomplish quite a few things here at Makita. You mentioned Amazon. Amazon has now publicly announced that they anticipate starting in the third quarter of this year.
Yep.
And we look forward to that rollout and then beginning. A number of the executives are already here on site. They're living in Madison County.
Yep.
I think you had the privilege of speaking with some of those as well. There's about 150 of the management team members that are going to be relocated, but of those, about 80 of them they expect to move in from out of state.
And how many do they expect to employ in total at the facility?
On paper, what has been committed to is 1,000 employees.
Yeah.
But what we've discussed is during the holiday periods, there'll be upwards of 1,800 employees.
Yeah. And Amazon's pay is well above minimum wage, minimum $18 an hour, I believe. Is that right?
That is correct. And, you know, what you're seeing in the world and the marketplace today here in the U.S. is obviously wages have risen.
Sure.
And I think that's determined ultimately by the marketplace and the labor and the skills that you're trying to obtain there at your facility. We believe with the package that we've seen that Amazon believes they can get their employees, along with the fact that as long as you've worked there for 90 days, they'll pay for your education.
Yeah.
And that's a 2-year, 4-year program. You don't find many industries that will do that. Not only will they pay for your education, we anticipate them partnering with Nissan, that if Nissan has people in a 2-year program, mechatronics, some type of skills, and that's what you're interested in, they will connect you from Amazon after you completed the training with Nissan.
Wow, that is awesome. And I think you and I discussed after our meeting, we looked into their benefit package. It's second to none, the benefit package they offer.
It is. You know, it's distribution.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not very complicated work, but at the end of the day, it is complicated from the standpoint of all the conveyor systems, the technology just to move those parts and pieces from one end to the other. It was basically told me that at the end of the day, if you, your wife, or someone pushes a button and makes an order from Amazon, within about 35 seconds, that piece has already been pulled and is moving downstairs to be put on a conveyor to be shipped to your house.
It's really is unbelievable, the technology that Mr. Bezos, it was his vision. You have to take your hat off to him. He's the one that envisioned all this, and it's become a reality.
Yes.
So Really good.
Yes.
Good thing for Madison County. Joey, also just wanted to express my gratitude for all your work as being a member of the board the last 4 years. Your work, the work of the team at Makita. It is really awesome. We're fortunate to have you guys in Madison County and Mississippi, and I look for a lot of good announcements ahead.
Thank you very much.
You got it. Joey Deason, the Executive Director of the Madison County Economic Development Authority, has been on Middays. We'll be back. Stay with